Wow. What a showcase. I think we can all say it now. Xbox is officially back on the map. I mean, I understand it's been a rough year for Xbox fans and everything. I get it. I really do. But that's all the more reason why this showcase was just so absolutely great. I think they really needed this showcase, and boy, did they deliver. I mean, we're talking about big game after big game after big game. They legitimately put together one of the best showcases, not just for them. This is not just one of the best Xbox showcases. This is one of the best showcases that we have seen in years, period. And coming after the Xbox Summer Game Fest just a few days ago, I think it shined an even better light on this Xbox showcase. And oh, by the way, I know I didn't make a Summer Game Fest reaction video a few days ago. I was a little busy at the time, but I'll say this much. The fact that Xbox had a shorter showcase than a Summer Game Fest, and it had more exciting games, I think tells you everything that you need to know about Jeff Keighley's showcases in general. Overly bloated, per usual. But man, Xbox, they were firing on all cylinders during this showcase, and I just want to go and quickly go over some of my takeaways and highlights from this event. Now, right away, though, I do have to say I left a little bit disappointed. Not a whole lot, but a little bit, because in the corner of my heart, a little banjo started to play. And then in the back of my mind, I could hear a kazooie. And now, leaving this showcase, I know it's yet another sad year for us Banjo-Kazooie fans. I mean, I'll continue my delusional hope. That's not going to change, but it is another sad year for us. So, it's really just my yearly moment of frustration that, truthfully, I know will come probably next year as well. Now, with that said, I think a lot of you know that I'm a huge Gears of War fan. I don't even know if I've ever properly explained what this franchise means to me, but it was a huge part of my life growing up through my high school years. Some of my best gaming memories are from the original Gears of War trilogy. I met some of my best friends playing these games, and by the time Gears of War 3 released, which ironically was on my birthday, it really cemented an end of an era for me. Now, of course, Xbox later acquired the Gears of War IP, and they revived it with Gears of War 4 and 5, but truth be told, those games didn't really hit the same way that the original trilogy did. The new characters aren't quite as likable, and it just kind of feels like something is missing with those games. Now, the multiplayer is still amazing. There's no other games that plays like Gears. But the stories in Gears of War 4 and Gears 5, I would describe as okay, but forgettable. They're still enjoyable campaigns to play through, but they're not really as memorable as the original trilogy, which is why I'm just so thrilled to say that the Coalition decided to do something that none of us expected. The next Gears game is not Gears of War 6, but rather it's actually a prequel. We're going back to Emergence Day where it all began, and this is a beautifully, beautifully done trailer. The horrifying terror is on full display, which is something that this series has kind of lost over time. It has that beautiful Mad World song playing in the background, and then there's Marcus and Dom, the original duo. I knew Gears was going to be here in some kind of capacity today, but I wasn't expecting this. I was not ready for this because honestly, I was getting a little emotional watching this trailer. There were a lot of great reveals today, but Gears E-Day was special for somebody like me who grew up playing the series day in and night out. And to see all this with those visuals, that just looks absolutely spectacular. This is the most realistic we've ever seen Marcus and Dom. This is the most realistic that we've seen the Locust look. It just really hit me hard. Truth be told, the Gears series has really always had some of the greatest trailers ever made, especially with that original trilogy. I can remember each one of those debut story trailers, whether that be the Mad World trailer for Gears 1, I think it was Devotchka for Gears 2, and then Gears 3 was Dust to Dust. They all had that beautiful somber music, and just it really set those games up perfectly with an emotional story attached to them. In fact, I can actually remember when I first saw the original Mad World trailer as a teenager, and I knew next to nothing about this game at the time, but that trailer alone and its mysterious world, it convinced me to buy the limited edition version, and from that point forward, I was hooked. So to see this trailer in 2024, it hit all the right notes. It really seems like it brought those vibes back, and I cannot explain to you what that meant to me. All I can really say here is that without a doubt, my most anticipated game is now Gears E-Day, by far. Now, we don't know its release date just yet, though. I am expecting 2026 or even beyond that, but brothers till the end. If you know, you know. If you don't, please go play these games. They're just so good. Now, another game that I want to talk about is another game that I've really hyped up for a long time. And in fact, I was actually hyping up this game even before an official reboot was announced. Perfect Dark. I grew up a big Rare fan, and Perfect Dark has always really stood out to me, even with Perfect Dark Zero. I know a lot of people didn't like that game as much, but I enjoyed it, and I've been really excited about this reboot. The only thing about this game, though, is that we keep hearing about internal development problems. It's going through development hell. There's all kinds of issues, and I've continuously come to bat for them because I just think some of the discourse online around this game has honestly been ridiculous. Just kind of let them get to the finish line, and then we'll kind of see from there. But, they can now put some of that discourse to rest because, wow. I mean, they showed out with this trailer. I mean, in terms of its gameplay, this was probably one of the most pleasant surprises at this showcase. The way you traverse in this game actually plays very similar to Mirror's Edge, but with more of an emphasis on its combat. And you know what? I am all for that. Mirror's Edge is probably one of the most brilliant but also overlooked games of all time. And to see its movement come over to a series that I am a big fan of, I mean, yeah, let's go. I also really like some of the gadgets that they showed off in this trailer. That's one of the big things that makes Perfect Dark. And they kind of showed some different things that Joanna can do, including like sonar that helps Joanna shoot through walls. That's pretty cool. Even the world itself, I thought looked really interesting with plant life bursting throughout the city. My only thing, though, and I think people are going to be kind of split on this, but I am a little disappointed in the new look for Joanna Dark. This is definitely a drastic change from the original games. I'll post some pictures on screen here, and I'll kind of let you judge on which one you prefer. But I will say, they did post another picture of her after the showcase that I thought made her look a lot better. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see more of her in the future. But either way, again, the gameplay for Perfect Dark I thought looked amazing, and I'm still very optimistic about this game. Again, though, no release date. I feel like this trailer in a lot of ways was put together just to kind of calm some of the speculation online, but it does kind of seem like we're probably still a little ways off. But I think that people can kind of now rest easy because it is looking like it's shaping up very, very well. Now, another game that I thought looked like it was shaping up well is actually Fable. We did finally get an updated look and a real glimpse to some of its gameplay. It definitely seems like Playground Games gets the humor and charms from the originals, and I think the visuals look pretty good as well. It's a lot more realistic compared to some of the previous games, but even after this trailer, I've seen a lot of questions from fans. Of course, this being a reboot for a beloved franchise from a completely different developer, I think those questions are merited. As one such example, I've seen a lot of people ask if you can create your own character or, can you choose to be good or evil, which I assume is yes to both of those questions, but it's still questions that fans have, and I'd say to that, even though those answers aren't spelled out in this specific trailer, the big news here was its 2025 release date. So I think next year you should start to expect a lot more detailed information regarding those questions. But I think for now, Fable is shaping up pretty well. I do think the gameplay looks pretty good. And if anything, it definitely seems like they're bringing over the sense of humor that the originals had prior. Now, one game that really surprised me, though, and I think this one will get a little bit overlooked just because of how stacked this event was, but Expedition 33 legitimately looks like it has some real potential. This is a turn-based JRPG style of game, but with big budget AAA visuals. I mean, the world looks insanely creative, and it just looks outstanding visually. Now, its frame rate, that might need some work, but it's not going to release until 2025, so they might get that fixed up before its release. And even better here is that it is an Xbox Game Pass title, and of course, that was a theme at this event. We got a lot of Game Pass games, including their first-party titles. One such example would be Doom: The Dark Ages. The rumors were absolutely true. This is a prequel, and yes, it is coming over to the PlayStation 5, but it's also coming over to Game Pass as well, and the Doomslayer now has a shield. I mean, we can kind of call him Captain Doom, I guess, and it's as brilliant as you'd expect it to be. Id Software just knows how to make fun first-person shooters, and Doom: The Dark Ages looks brilliantly fun. This one won't release until 2025, though, so you're still going to have to wait a little while before you get to play this one yourself. Honestly, though, these games are just kind of the tip of the iceberg because there were so many exciting reveals at this event, whether that be Metal Gear Solid Delta, the Diablo expansion, there was Indiana Jones, Avowed, Stalker 2, they announced a new Life is Strange game, and I mean, that's what I'm talking about here. This was such a stacked showcase, and I know Xbox really needed this event, but I think this was just great for the entire game industry as a whole. You know, the PlayStation Showcase, it didn't exactly deliver. I liked Astrobot. I think that could be a Game of the Year candidate. But as a whole, that showcase wasn't exactly great. Then there was the Summer Game Fest. As I said earlier, it wasn't great either. Very long, very boring. So to see Xbox come out and kind of revive that E3 spirit with a legitimately great showcase, you know, this is something that brings a lot of excitement, not only to the Xbox brand, which is something that I think they really needed, but it also brings excitement to gaming as a whole. It really reminds us why we get excited about these showcases in the first place. I've said this a few different times, but I feel like Xbox is the one platform holder that really keeps that E3 spirit alive, and I think they really have proven that this year. I mean, we'll see what Nintendo does here in the next couple weeks. I'm hoping theirs ends up being great as well, but you know, for today, just big hats off to Xbox here. Big congrats, and just hopefully they can carry this momentum for the rest of the year and even beyond, because that was the other theme that I noticed about this event. Unlike some of these other showcases, Xbox didn't just focus on 2024. I mean, okay, they had some big 2024 reveals here, including Indiana Jones. They had Avowed. Dragon Age was here, so there you go. Black Ops 6, the next Life is Strange game, Stalker 2, Diablo, and the list just kind of goes on and on and on. But they also gave us a glimpse beyond 2024, and I thought that was a great decision. A lot of publishers anymore, for whatever reason, seems to be afraid of talking about their future beyond just the year that we're in. It's a very secretive industry, which is one of the reasons I think leak culture when it comes to games is just so big. But for all of these publishers out there, if you have something to show that you have confidence in, then I say go for it. I'm all for that, but hey, that's just my own personal opinion. I don't mind if a game gets announced it's a little bit further out, but you might feel differently. And if you do, let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. This showcase for me, though, gets an easy A. I think this was a 10 out of 10 showcase, one of the best showcases that we've seen in years. I do want to hear your opinions, though, so let me hear your letter grade in the comments below, and also let me hear about your highlight or highlights of the show. For me, hands down, it's Gears of War E-Day. Oh, man, it just looks so good. But you know what? Let me hear what you liked in the comments below. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode. I just wanted to get my quick thoughts out there because I just thought this was such an amazing event. Again, kudos to Xbox. But until next time, peace out.